Hi everyone. This is my flipped classroom integration rationale. I found all of the articles relevant. However, I thought the emerging technology trends and the educational leadership articles were the most interesting. I liked the description of teachers as instructional guides when using flipped instruction. I was also interested in the explanation of how students value the homework in the flipped instructional model, which makes the homework more meaningful and not just busy work. I also liked how that it said that the data isn't in yet, and the absence of data doesn't mean that there's an absence. Like it may really still work. The purpose of the integration of flipped instruction is to give teachers and students the gift of time. This model allows teachers to create video lessons to be viewed at home as homework, which frees up classroom time to go into more depth and support students with their learning. Flipped instruction is meant to be completely student-centered, allowing students to learn at their own pace and review lessons as often as possible. My integration of this model would need a lot of parent involvement because my students are so young. Homework for students from K to 3 tends to be a collaborative experience between students and parents. For my kindergarten integration of flipped classroom instruction, I would set up an Edmodo account and invite my students to join. Edmodo looks something like this. So you set up an account, you invite people to join, and then you can either attach files, share a link, or add from the library that's already here. So your kids all come to this one spot, so it's an online classroom. And you can view their progress. What I would do is I would provide links on here to our daily interactive student lessons that are built into our math program. And they look like this. So I would link these lessons. So every day we do this lesson.
Today is going to be an exciting day.
How can you model the number 10? One way is to use counters and a 10 frame. Meg
So
has
parents
some carrots.
can go through
Let's
this.
find out. Now let's practice. Now try your homework on your own with the personal math trainer. It includes.
So the parents can go through that with their student at home, freeing up classroom time for me to go over real instructional things. So it's actually a pretty good idea. If they go into that lesson at home, they're much more prepared for math, giving me a lot more instructional time. I considered both points of view, either flip the classroom or not flip the classroom. I agree that this model will be most valuable in math and science, rather than language arts. I also think it's a lot more valuable for middle and high school students who have the maturity to be responsible for their own learning. Going into this assignment, I assumed that my students would be way too young to use this type of instruction, but the more I thought about it and read about it, I think it could really work on a small scale in kindergarten. I also assumed that students would treat flipped classroom assignments just like other homework, but after reading more, it makes sense that the homework would become more meaningful in a flipped classroom. Flipped classroom models address the problems of not enough time to teach everything. This model allows the time to teach more in depth. It also makes homework valuable, moving beyond busy work assignments. The flipped classroom model also makes lessons available for parents, which may help with the problem of parents not understanding a lot of Common Core math. The outcome of a flipped classroom could be very positive if implemented properly. Teacher attitude and preparation would be extremely important to the success of any flipped classroom. This integration uses the constructivist theory. The basic idea of constructivist theory is that learners must individually discover and transform complex information if they're going to make it their own. Because of the emphasis on them as active learners, constructivist strategies are often called student-centered instruction. And that's exactly what flipped model is. It's just student-centered. It starts out being direct instruction at home, but when you get to the cooperative learning part at school, it's very student-centered and constructivist. The problem with the flipped classroom will be what to do about the kids who don't do their homework. They'll already be behind before the lesson even starts. In my grade level, some parents may feel like they're doing the teacher's job if they're asked to do math lessons with their child before it's taught. And teachers will need a lot more time to do this type of instruction. They need time to prepare lessons that go home and the cooperative learning activities for class time.